Hi there, friends. Hello. You're watching the Second Chance Kitchen. I'm Christy. Thank you for joining me. We're going to just do a little chit chat today. And I want to ask your opinion on something because there's something I've been kind of wanting to dabble in for a little while now, but haven't quite done it yet. In case you're just joining me, and you've never watched before, I like to go to estate sales and I look for the handwritten recipes and I bring them home and I'll make one in my kitchen, give them a second chance so they're not in the garbage. And I will make one and we'll taste test it and see how it was or how it turns out. I don't do any modifications. I follow the recipe exactly how it's written, even if I know it's gonna need more seasoning or if it's gonna be too much of this or too much of that, or I don't like to change anything. But after I make it and taste it, then I'll be like, okay, well, it needed this, a little more salt, or it's too sweet, or just wasn't my thing, you know? But just because I don't like it doesn't mean you might not like it. So if you've ever tried any of my recipes from before, please let me know. I'd love to see your thoughts and hear your thoughts. So anyway, so today there are two things in here that I want to show you. So from this recipe book right here, there's a lot of stuff in here. I've made a couple of recipes out of here already. The one thing I wanted to show you, and I guess I could say I could make it, but I don't need to make it. It's just a little recipe right here on a piece of paper. And in case you didn't already know how to make this, here is a little tip. In case you need self-rising flour and you don't have it on hand, here's how to make self-rising flour. 1 cup of all-purpose flour, 1½ teaspoons of baking powder, and 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Stir or sift together flour, baking powder, and salt. Store in an airtight container. So there you go. If you ever need some self-rising flour and you don't have it on hand, here's how you can make it with things that you should have in your pantry. Most people do have flour, baking powder, and salt. So there's that. Now, so I have before I've thought about trying it, and I did for a little bit, sort of, kind of, but I didn't. But I did, but I didn't. I'll show you in a second. So the whole sourdough thing, okay? So I love sourdough bread. I think it's delicious, and I love it toasted. And there was a big boom with people making sourdough and all this kind of stuff. So I thought about it, and I actually, before we moved, there was a lady that was not too far from us, and she was just like giving away some sourdough starters. So I was like, oh, cool. It's good starter. It's ready to, you know, you can feed it and grow it or whatever. So I went and got a little bit from her, and it's been in my refrigerator. But I will say, during the move, it got put into like a little lunchbox, one of those insulated lunch boxes, soft lunch boxes, and it sat out for a couple of days. And then I found it, and I was like, oh. So I don't know if it's any good. I put it straight back in my refrigerator. It's got the, what do you call it, the hooch, the liquid stuff on top. But I don't know if it's any good. I will probably end up tossing it in the trash and trying to start some on my own. But it's very intimidating to me because I've never done it. So I'm super intimidated by, like, okay, well, you have to, there are some people, I've seen a ton of videos about people, you know, with their starters, and some people actually measure with a measuring, you know, with a scale. You know, like you need this many grams of water and this many whatevers of flour, and it's just basically flour and water, and then you gotta remove this much and then add this much, and I'm just like, that's all good, no, but I don't know if I'm just lazy and I don't want to work that hard. It's just kind of intimidating. And then I watched another lady's videos, and she's like, you're making it, you're thinking about it too hard. Here, you take out this much, put this much in. I don't know, just feed it 1/2 cup of this and 1/2 cup of that. So I've seen a ton of videos, and I don't know, maybe I'll get there. If you have advice for me, if you think we should like start a little, let's start a sourdough family video, we could do that. But I did run across some sourdough starter recipes in this book. So that's why I was like, okay, well, let's talk about this for a second. There are 2 different recipes. One of them calls for yeast, which I have never seen. I have only seen starter being flour and water. I saw these 2 recipes and I'm like, interesting. So one calls for yeast and the other does not call for yeast. But then they also have sugar and salt in them. All right, so this is the sourdough starter with yeast. It's 1 envelope of yeast, 1.5 cups of warm water, not hot, 2 cups of flour, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and 1 teaspoon of salt. And then she says dissolve the yeast in warm water, then mix other ingredients, set aside in a covered dish in a warm place for 1 or 2 days. Always leave at least 1 cup of starter for seed. Replenish with 1 cup flour and 1 cup milk or water. I have never heard of anybody using milk. Starter action may be delayed for several days by storing in the refrigerator. Again, I've never seen anybody use yeast. I've never seen anybody put sugar or salt in theirs. And do you just let it sit for 1 or 2 days and then you're ready to cook with it? I mean, I've always thought you had to, feed it for a good amount of days. I have no idea. All right, so then here is the recipe without the starter. Without the yeast, without yeast. 2 cups of flour, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, and 2 cups of warm water. Basically, it's the same. Mix well and store in a covered dish for several days in warm place. Always leave at least 1 cup starter for seed. Replenish with 1 cup of flour and 1 cup of milk or water. Starter action may be delayed for several days by storage in refrigerator. So, she's got pretty handwriting, if you want to look at the handwriting. If you've dabbled in the world of sourdough, tell me your thoughts, because I don't know about milk. I've never seen anybody put milk in there. And it doesn't say anything about discarding some, which, everybody I've watched, they keep their discard because they can make other things with it. So, it doesn't say anything about discarding some and then feeding and then letting it rise and then you discard some so help me. I don't understand. Because I'm willing to try the whole let's do starter and let's see what can happen. I'm willing to try. If y'all want to try it, we can do it together. Let me know and we'll do a daily thing for a while. But this is just like a couple of days. So would I mix it all together, then let it sit on the counter for a couple of days, and then it's ready to go? I don't know. What are your thoughts? Because I have a lot of thoughts and I have a lot of questions. And unfortunately, she doesn't answer any questions. But she does have some recipes that use the starters. There's a Western biscuits, maybe? 1 cup of sourdough starter, 2 cups of flour, 1/3 cup of milk, 1/2 cup of cooking oil. No. What does that say? 1 cup. I'm trying to read it. 1 cup butter. Oh, butter or cooking oil. 2 teaspoons of baking powder and 1/2 teaspoon salt. Mix all ingredients. Pat out on flat surface floured. Cut out. Makes about 25 biscuits. Okay, so there's, I guess, Western biscuits. And then there's 49er pancakes. 1 cup of starter, 4 cups of flour, 2 cups of milk, 4 eggs, 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons cooking oil, 2 tablespoons baking powder, butter, and syrup. Mix all ingredients. We'll make about 50 pancakes. That's a lot of pancakes. Holy cow. I wonder how big they are. But so those are 2 recipes, and that's it, that call for the sourdough starter. But I don't know. That's all I was going to say today. Let me know in the comments if you're interested in doing starting the little sourdough journey. And we can cuss and discuss and experiment together. All right. Hope you all have a wonderful day. Thank you for joining me, and be kind, loving, and helpful. Do something nice for yourself and for somebody else today. And I will see you next time. Bye, you guys.